Okay, guys, I figured it was time for another room, studio, apartment update. I'm constantly making changes here, and every now and then people ask me, where my shelves are, what my shelves look like. Most of the time, you can see the one behind me, but every now and then I like to run through and just show everybody kind of my setup, because if some things I've done you like, then by all means, take some of my ideas and run with them. We'll start with what I call, and actually it's my Wi-Fi's name. I call this Command Central, and this is a big, very long desk from IKEA with a bunch of drawers. Now I do go to school, so this has more uses than just YouTube, but this corner is what I call Command Central. You guys can see, I can't remember if I've updated or not, but I've put the sound paneling up. I've put one of the hue bulbs behind the television so that it has that little back afterglow. I really like that look a lot. It just kind of ties that whole corner together. I've got my really bright lamp. So this is what the Command Central area looks like. I used to have LED light strips underneath the desk to make underneath the desk glow. They kept falling off. They weren't the greatest of quality, so I took them down. But yeah, I've got my laptop. Xbox One controller. That nice microphone I bought from Amazon, absolutely love it. It's a toner USB microphone. It was like 26 bucks. Absolutely love it. And I have a 32-inch TV that I use as my monitor. It does function as a TV, but I rarely use it as a TV. I always run it as a monitor. But other than that, I mean, I've got plenty of space. This corner right here, you'll notice the single block of foam here, single column is normally in my thumbnails. Traditionally, I take and I move these things away and I film all my reviews on this section of the desk right here, just out of shot of where the laptop and all that is. I like the black table with the white background and then the foam in the background as well. It looks nice. It's not boring, but it's also not like super flashy. So I do plan on, if I stay here, which I probably won't, I'll probably move somewhere else. I do plan on getting more foam. This apartment is very echoey. Like the kitchen, it's a mess. Sorry, the kitchen is right here. Like, it's a very small area, so this room echoes really, really bad. So I put up the sound foam to try to maybe reduce some of the noise in here, but it's helped, but not a ton. So I would like to get some more. Anyway, over here I've got a cup full of receipts that I keep track of. I have a piston out of what I think we calculated out as a V6 Honda. I found this in a scrap pile and thought it looked cool. It was neat decoration. I'm a car guy, so having a piston from a car is pretty neat. And my logo that I designed and printed on a resin 3D printer. This shows up in the background of pretty much every single video. I kind of hide it, and I like it because it kind of blends into the wall. So if you know to look for it, it's there, but it's not in your face. So I really like that. The plan is to mount this on a plaque and glow some blue lighting up through it, so I can use it as a little bit more efficient decoration. Then, turning around, here's my shelf. Obviously you'll notice there's some changes. Let me grab the remote and power the lights on. It's not going to do much for you, but it'll do something. There have been some changes. I've knocked out the top shelf to make room for my 3D printer, and we'll talk about some of the things that I've got over here in a moment. But up top, I kind of have my Star Wars, got Kylo Ren's lightsaber propped up there. Books for school. I actually made these bookends in our metal casting class, so I poured liquid metal into a block of sand that had a hole that looked like this, and so I made those. I've got my R2-D2 stuff because I'm building an R2 slowly but surely. So there's the robot R2, there's a big diagram of him, there's the Bop It R2. I got some board games and stuff, Monopoly and Cards Against Humanity, because I like to piss off my friends. And I have a Nerf gun up there, and that thing makes cool lights on the ceiling. Nothing super incredible. A regular printer right next to a 3D printer, which I do run. I have made several upgrades to it. I was going to review it But at this point, it's so far past stock, it's probably not even worth talking about anymore. I probably could talk about it a little bit, but not on a super authoritative level, just because it's so far from what you get out of the box, and that's kind of what I wanted anyway. Back here are some samples of things I have printed, and I'm sorry that it's dark. I'll try to show them off a little bit better. This is a larger lockbot logo. Let me see if I flip this light. Hey! A larger lockbot logo that I made. This was not printed on a resin machine. This was printed on a machine like this, bigger, more expensive, same method. It's a spool of material. It's just like if you've ever seen a weed eater, it's just this string of plastic that it melts and lays down. So that was printed on a very similar machine to this. It was just much bigger and much more expensive. The other logo over there is made with a liquid resin, which is a lot more high quality. These are parts I've printed on my machine. These are test towers to determine the how good the filament is and at what temperatures. You can see, and there's two of them over here, but the black one's a little bit easier to read. You can see that it reads different numerical values. That's actually temperatures. So 200 degrees Celsius and 195 degrees Celsius. And as this built, it dropped in temperature. So this layer was printed at 185, and this layer was printed at 180. So what that does is that tells me the best temperature to run these 3D prints at. I have run this on a very high quality machine. Hopefully I will buy one of those one day, but you can kind of see how narrow it is, and I like to show that off. I printed this on this machine here. It's just a really cool twisty thing that is hollow on the bottom. So it just printed, it's completely hollow in there. So I ran that as a test on this machine here. It ended up working really well. I printed this one in Arkansas at my internship. It's an Iron Man bust. So there's that. Then I also printed this one in Arkansas. It's a Darth Vader bust. So I've got a couple different, just really neat 3D print things that I've made. This was given to me by one of my very good friends, Scott, who taught me everything I know about 3D printing. So I keep this around. This was a birthday present. It is a dual color 3D print. It was run both colors at the same time to print it in two colors, which is really neat. I did run this one on my machine over here. So that machine made this. This is what's known as a benchy. It's a benchmark print, and it looks like just a cute little tugboat, but it has a lot of really neat angles and like overhangs and arcs that test how good your printer is at its job, at printing. So overall, this is a fairly good looking benchy for a $300 machine. I'm very proud of how it looks. So yeah, this is a benchmark print, and it's also a cool little tugboat. This was my senior design, not senior design, this is my final project in my metal casting class. It's a 10-blade scalpel that actually somebody ordered, and I made it for my final project, so it was one of the first contract jobs I've done 3D printing wise, so that's why I keep it around. I made this, it's the Ford logo, but with my last name in it. And then finally, the big cool thing over here, and I gotta send it off. This is Kyle's logo. And he didn't ask me to do this, I just volunteered it. I took his logo, completely 3D modeled it, and 3D printed it in separate pieces. The purple was printed on top of the black, so it is permanently on there, but the eyes are just kind of slotted in there, and they're in there tight, so they're not gonna fall out. But I did make this completely custom for Kyle, and it is his logo, and this is a one-of-a-kind thing that nobody else has, very much like my lockbot logos that I have here. Nobody else has these. So that's cool. Only I own the files for this, and only I own right now the 3D prints of those things. So 3D printing is awesome. It's one of the things I'm super interested in other than Transformers, and I just wanted to talk about that for a little bit. Oh, record player. Isn't that neat? It's a birthday or Christmas present. It's a 60s Mustang dashboard that is also a record player. Transformers, here's some stuff we know, right? The herd has been thinned on purpose. I have some movie stuff back there, very few movie things. I've got Leader Megatron, the Invasion Prime, the Age of Extinction Bumblebee, and the Last Night Barricade. That's it in terms of movie on this shelf. I've got a couple barricades in the other room, but I'll show you that later. I have, well, obviously, most of the Transformers Prime collection, including first edition guys, which I'm super proud of, and I've talked about those in videos previous, so I won't get into them too much. I do have Robots in Disguise Soundwave, because I thought he was cool. There's the Legends Seeker Trio that I really liked. And then, I mean, there's Springer, who I regretted getting rid of and then bought him again when Kyle was here, so I've got Springer. And then more Titans Return figures than I thought I would ever own. And there's only 5 of them. I've got Overlord and Six Shot, and then all the Decepticon triple changers, Astrotrain, Blitzwing, and Octane. And those guys, I mean, I like them. They're going to hang around. I'm not going to get rid of them anytime soon. But I never thought I would own that much Titans Return stuff. But here I am, and I've got them. And yeah, they hang out here with me. For those of you that don't know, this shelf and the one in the other room that I'll show you that's brand new, this stuff is the best of the best. The things I keep here are my favorites, and the things that I like to mess with on a regular basis, and the Titans Return guys made it there. So that's something. And now the main event, this detail shelf. But I can't help but notice that my lighting seems to be throwing off the camera balance, making everything look just a little bit too red. So now's a good opportunity to show off that I have the color changing hue bulbs in here. Y'all will remember that's actually the best tone for what we're doing. I'm just playing with it on my phone here. I have the color changing hue bulbs in here that just like I have on the desk, but that one's set up to be blue right now. Oh look, the TV turned off. So here we go, now better lighting. But I also have that right there, lighting internally in the cabinet that is done by moi. This is very obviously a detail shelf, and most of you will know what this is, but if not, this is a shelf you can get at IKEA for like 70 bucks, and man is it worth it, because it went together really easily, and it looks darn good. Everybody compliments this thing when they come over, and it gives me a little bit more space to display some nicer things in here in the other room. Obviously, you'll notice I have my other lockbot thing up here, so there's one in here too. Also, this changes colors as well, only to red, blue, or green, or white. So, there's a thing. So this shelf is great, and I don't know how well it's going to come across on camera. Oh, it's not. This room is very dusty, and these figures are quite expensive, and I don't like... I mean, dusting them is not a problem, it's just something I'd like to avoid. So this shelf does a great job of keeping these figures nice and tidy while not inhibiting me from looking at them from any viewing angle. And now I've spoiled what's in here, but that's okay. So, top shelf. We have Planet X Jupiter, which is Fall of Cybertron Optimus. I always forget their official names. Planet X Pluto, which is Fall of Cybertron Megatron. And Planet X Mors, which is Fall of Cybertron Starscream. And then an assortment of their weapons, because I think their weapons are absolutely gorgeous. But from every angle, these guys are just filled with character and loaded with detail. And I'm actually going to open this is my bathroom here. I won't show you anything, but you can just tell from every angle they're gorgeous to look at. So having them in this glass enclosure absolutely is perfect for these figures because they're such high quality. Moving down! I have hiccups, sorry. Fall of Cybertron guys again! Here we go. Planet X Vulcan, which is their Grimlock, which is so much better than the darn Voyager that I had. Oh my goodness, he is so good! Planet X Samanus, which is, and I forget these guys, both of these guys' names. The official name and the Planet X name. I think this is Snarl. Yes, Snarl. Kalis, which is Swoop. I know that. And then, oof, that's Sludge. I don't know his official name. So I've got 4 out of the 5 Planet X Dinobots. Well, technically there's 6, but I don't want the 6th one. 4 out of the 5 that I want Planet X Dinobots that look darn good, and I've got some more of their weapons down here, just kind of showcasing what the weapons look like. Moving down, Masterpiece Soundwave finally gets his moment of glory here in the case, and he is flanked by Alternators Grimlock and Human Alliance Barricade, along with the Deluxe Barricade in Mustang mode. There is a 3D printed Decepticon symbol made by moi, and a very nice IDW Rodimus corn. Well, it does, you know. IDW, golly, Rodimus coin given to me by Nonif Creations. Dude's a solid guy. I bought several upgrades from him for Combiner Wars. Speaking of Combiner Wars, here they are. Spirion, Menasor, Bruticus, Defensor, and Computron, the Japanese one. You will notice the other ones are gone, and they're not here because they're not on the other shelf. I got rid of everybody who is not these in Combiner Wars. Everything else, like these are the only Combiner Wars figures I own anymore. Everything else is gone. Bye-bye. They were collecting dust, and it was time to get rid of them. So I got rid of the Optimus and Skylinks and all the Autobot limbs. I got rid of those. But I got the cool Overlord thing done before I sold them, which is great. So, let me get up here. Maybe I'll mispronounce some more words. That is the Detolf shelf. And boy, is it nice. And I really like having these guys in this top little area, because they are absolutely phenomenal. The blue looks okay. So, that is my room. Studio, apartment, whatever you want to call it. Small, but it's doable. Maybe I'll expand and get something a little bit bigger. But for now, I think we got a pretty good setup. It does everything I needed to do, and then some. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll talk to you later. Bye.